How it is, guys and gals? It's your boy Liam 2020, and yeah, I'm kind of getting slow with uploads because, well, yeah, but either way, today we're gonna be doing a breakdown on the film Over the Hedge, which is actually, this is a really funny film. It's basically like explaining how this is kind of like an animal heist film. Yeah, it's basically, and why it's actually super duper funny as well. But yeah, it came out in 2006, and it's one of the. It's actually a really good DreamWorks movie. Actually, even though Kung Fu Panda beat it, was really my favorite. But it's still a good film nonetheless. It's obviously far from Sharp Tale. That's for damn certain. But yeah, basically the film starts with this raccoon named RJ, voiced by Bruce Willis, trying to get a bag of chips from a vending machine, but the bag gets stuck. It gets stuck, but then after several attempted and failed gags, he decides to go steal some food from his buddy Vincent, voiced by Nick Nolte. Vincent is a bear. So when RJ gets in the cave, he's making constant noise trying to get all the food, and surprisingly, Vincent doesn't wake up until RJ opens up a can of Spuddies that he stole from Vincent's hand, and Vincent's like, RJ, what the hell? You're trying to steal my stuff? I'm gonna kill you. And RJ's like, no, no. Your food's still in the cave. I'm just trying to save it. So technically your food's not stolen since it's still in this cave. But RJ accidentally bumps the food out of the cave and it rolls onto the road where a truck runs over it. Jeez, man, enough with the fucking trucks. So this gets Vincent pissed and he's about to eat. RJ's like, no, I can get all your food back. It's like red wagon, blue cooler. Red wagon and blue cooler, those two items. And RJ wants to get all the food. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you a family fun pack. And RJ only has a week because Vincent's like, okay, I'm going to sleep, and once the moon is full, you better have all my food. But wait, how long does it take for a full moon to? How many weeks is a full moon from a half moon? Because they said 1 week, even though a few people have told me it's 2 weeks, but I mean, the moon in this film, it looked like a half moon from the way they showed it. And then, either way, after Vincent heads back into his cave, RJ finally gets the bag of chips he was trying to steal from the vending machine earlier. So then he goes looking around, and here's where we meet the animals. Vern the turtle, voiced by Gary Shandling, who sadly he's not around anymore. Last film, sorry if you hear my dogs barking, but the last movie Gary Shandling ever did before his death was the 2016 remake of The Jungle Book. But then they wake up, they're hibernators, they store food in a log, which basically, also the other animals, there's Hammy the squirrel, voiced by Steve Carell. The opossum family, Ozzy, voiced by William Shatner, and his daughter Heather, voiced by Avril Lavigne. And then there's Stella the skunk, voiced by Wanda Sykes. And then there's also Peggy and Lou, the porcupines. I know Lou is voiced by Eugene Levy. I forget the name of the person who does Peggy. Check it on Wikipedia. Yes, that's an advantage when you have when you record through a laptop and not through a camcorder. You can just check Wikipedia just to see what the cast is. Oh, Catherine O'Hara is the person who does Penny. Oh, it's Penny. I thought it was Peggy. And then their kids. Yeah, either way, they see the hedge and it's like, holy shit, this thing is new. And then that's when RJ shows up, introduces himself to them, and they really start organizing their plans on how to get. It's like first after we see a montage of Vern getting tossed into the hedge and almost getting like ran over by everything, just getting tortured. It's like, no, Vern's not getting. He's not a butt monkey character. This does not apply to him. Like, literally, for someone to be a bum monkey, they have to get literally tortured, like, every 10 seconds. Or, like, or literally every scene that they're in. This does not apply to Vern. Well, it kind of does, but... he sort of gets tortured, but not so much. But it's actually kind of funny, though. He gets back in the hedge, and that's when RJ shows up and introduces him with the bag of chips. It's like, yep, that's how they meet. And then the next day... well, first, after RJ has a horrible nightmare the previous night, he wakes up and then he notices some Girl Scout cookies. He's like, ooh, I gotta get some cookies. Then he decides to plan it out. He has the plan to get some food. No, even though the previous night he actually showed them, like, all the human food and where it comes from, it's like, no, we don't actually do that stuff. We don't always just rely on food. But, yeah. So then that's when the cat, tiger, damn it, I closed Wikipedia, so I forget the name of the cat. Ahmed, I don't even know how you say that name, but either way... Tiger's owner, Gladys Sharp, voiced by Allison Janney, shows up and chases them all back before the night. But either way, back to the following morning. They really organize a plan on how to steal the food, which RJ has a golf bag that he stores all his personal belongings in. It's like, damn, you came prepared. And this scene actually is kind of funny because what RJ does is he sprays whipped cream all over Hammy's mouth to make it look like he has rabies. And then either way, Hammy runs up to the girls and they start beating the shit out of him because RJ wasn't really careful enough. But then Vern shows up and RJ's like, no, everything's okay. Vern tries to go up and save Hammy, but then he gets caught in like a stream roar thing, and this scene is just absolutely hilarious. Vern's shell comes off. Like, I think it's, even though I think, well, according to Yogi Bear, turtles are sewn into their shells, but whatever. This movie came out 4 years before the Yogi Bear film, and this scene is so funny. Vern flies on one of the girls' faces. It's like, ah! Lol. That would look like something in the Looney Tunes. Kind of. It's just funny. It's like, if all else fails, just shoot a dog, monkey, or whatever, and just have it start humping the person's face. It's like, ah! He gets humped, and he even shows Vern with an ass. What the fuck? But either way, they got the cookies alright. And Vern gets back into his shell. And it's like, oh, there was this rabbit squirrel, we got attacked by this gross naked amphibian thing. Which, believe it or not, turtles are actually reptiles. That's a fun fact. So they get the cookies, share them with everyone, and then we literally see a montage of them just stealing food. It's like, damn, you're just stealing everything. Really filling up the log, because obviously RJ only has a week to get the food back to give to Vincent. Gladys is getting annoyed. It's like, oh shit, I need an exterminator. So then, one day, there's a car carrying a blue cooler. They organize a plan. It's like, this is how you really gotta organize a plan. This is like GTA style. Yeah. That might actually be the title of this breakdown. Why Over the Hedge is GTA with animals. That does sound like a clever name. That's probably gonna be the name of this video. Uh, but either way, Ozzy pretends he gets hit by a car. It's like, oh, that's a hit and run. That's illegal. But no, obviously, he survives and he's faking it. So, like, it doesn't actually show the car hitting Ozzy, but he's pretending that he's dead or about to die when someone asks, go grab the shovel from the car while everyone else is grabbing the blue cooler, but then Ozzy's like, oh shit. And then he's realized he's not actually dead yet, so everyone's like, what the hell? So then they get the cooler and run back to the hedge when the Verminator, Dwayne LaFondant, voiced by Thomas Hayden Church, I think LaFondant is how you say his last name, but either way, he's sniffing around. It's like, what do I have? Porcupine, possum, raccoon, squirrel, amphibian? No. Reptile. Even though Vern said reptile, it's like, yep. So then they basically have all the food prepped. And RJ is like, oh god, I gotta give this to Vincent. What am I doing? He's like, oh no, my food is gone. And then it gets to an argument between RJ and Vern whether it's like, return the food to the humans. And RJ's like, no. And then it literally, this argument just goes nowhere all the way until a dog starts chasing after them. It's just like, play? It's like, this movie came out 3 years after Finding Nemo, and apparently it's like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. It's like, mine, mine, mine. I think seagulls even say that in reality. But after a really funny chase scene, that is so funny. They start shooting through people's fences. It's like you're being chased by cops in GTA and you're dropping all your cash, but this time the cash is food, and because they're animals. They even destroy a barbecue. It's like you don't actually think the propane tank is gonna go off and just literally shoot them up a slide. This is like what I said in my Dumb and Dumber breakdown. The stupidity only works if you don't expect it to happen. They go up a literal slide. And they're like so high up it even shows a plane. This is literally the funniest scene in the whole movie. But then they're falling. RJ lost the spuddies and he dropped it, and also the wagon ends up blowing Gladys's car. And also RJ and Bert are holding onto an umbrella, which burns up and they fall. But all the food is destroyed. And then RJ explains, ask Vern! To ask her what the hell happened to the food. And everyone's annoyed with him. And RJ realizes that he's fucked because literally it's his last day to get the food for Vincent, who, again, RJ's a vision with Vincent showing up saying, moon's full, see you in the morning. And then he literally grabs the moon like it's a spuddy and eats it. Because Vincent also decided to end it 6 days early in that nightmare RJ had before they stole the cookies. But yeah. And also Gladys even starts installing a bunch of traps in her yard to keep, it's like, oh shit, they really are anticipating it. It's like they're expecting it, because then there's even this one trap. Oh, did you put this deep pelter turbo in my yard? It's like, I want this thing, even though it's illegal in every state except Texas. That's literally how you just say it for everything. If I were right, though, like, let's say someone just, right, you spray paint it. You keyed a Tesla. It's like, I'm gonna key this guy's Tesla. But it's a bad move, as it is illegal in every state, except Texas. Or, we are not pitching a tent out in a random forest, because it's illegal in every state, except Texas. What I'm saying is, this is just super dope and clever. That is so, it's like, literally, in Texas, you can get away with everything. That's a savage line. So then, RJ is talking to Vern, and Vern's like, hey, sorry I destroyed your food stash. Just my tail tingles. I don't know what to listen to. And Vern falls out of his shell again, after RJ notices Gladys ordering a haul of food for a party. So they decide to break into her house, which then they get the plan ready. It's like, yep, that's how you rob the Holy Grail. Robbing the Holy Grail of food. Really decent. So then that's when they eventually get in the house, but then they disguise Stella as a cat, and she starts talking with Tiger. While everyone else gets inside, they're just literally talking. Blah, da, 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 da. And then they're cleaning out the fridge, which literally takes all morning, and they even have Gladys even had a camera in her bedroom, which they're watching through the TV. But then she wakes up in the morning, and it's like, oh god, we gotta get out of here fast. But RJ's hesitant on getting the Spuddies, even though their cart is literally full. But then, also Heather tries to provide a distraction, and then Gladys kicks her into a wall, which she survives. And then RJ gets annoyed and reveals that, yes, I gotta give all this damn food to a bear, and if I don't give him these Spuddies, he's gonna eat me. So then he pushes Vern off of him after they climb up the wine bottles, grabs the Spuddies, he falls to the floor, and Stella and Tiger run into the house, and she literally sprays skunk spray, and also Dwayne shows up to catch them. RJ escapes, Stella shoots the gas out all the doors and windows. RJ escapes, but everyone else gets captured. So then they're getting captured, and Dwayne's about to dispose of them. While RJ is just taking the food, he runs into Vincent, who's literally on the hill. He's like, sweet, you got my food. And I was watching the show, and shows him, that's a thing of beauty. And RJ's like, what? They got captured? And you think he's just gonna turn his back on them. It's like, yeah, fuck those guys. I got my food. And paid off Vincent. But then RJ says he already had what he wanted with them. And says that he actually does need them after Vincent talks with him. And then Lily pushes Vincent's food in front of Dwayne's van. And Vincent starts chasing after RJ, which leads to a wild chase of RJ trying to get in the fucking truck. But they don't want him until they realize, oh no, he's safe. And then they lose Vincent after driving through a bunch of balloons. Well, not really for long, but either way, they go off a jump ramp, which was like a speedometer, and they crash right into Gladys' house. And they run back to the hedge, and Vincent catches up to them. Somehow. So they're literally trapped in the hedge, Vincent on one side with Dwayne and Gladys on the other. It's like they're about to get clawed. It's like, oh shit, what do we do? And then they use Hammy to drink caffeine, which somehow he speeds it up. Speeds up time. It's like, yeah, I've never drank. I mean, actually, I think I had caffeine once through a coffee that was poisoned. I got a migraine and started puking everywhere. Well, no, I didn't puke everywhere. I just felt like I was going to puke, and then finally I did. He then grabs a cookie that was on a roof that he was tasked with disabling the depulter turbo earlier before everyone got into the house, and then he turns it back on, sets it to the highest setting, and so his time speeds up. But it turns out RJ actually put on Vern's shell while distracting Vincent with a Spuddy, who lunged at RJ, tried to eat him. Do bears eat raccoons in real life? I don't know, but either way, time's all frozen. well, time unfreezes and the trap, and then the depulter turbo goes off while literally. I think Dwayne was the only one who didn't get affected by the depulter turbo. Gladys was like almost bald, and Vincent lost all of his fur. Well, then the animals are celebrating while Vincent is taken to the Rocky Mountains, and Gladys and Dwayne are arrested. Gladys is trying to escape, but from the cops while Dwayne slips out, falls into a backyard, and gets literally bitten by the same dog that chased RJ and Vern earlier. Because you can tell, because you can hear the play. And then Tiger runs out into the woods and decides, yeah, I'm going to live out here with you guys. And they realize, oh and then after Vern tells RJ, you know, you could have just told us all that food you were trying to get was to pay back that angry bear, and we would have given it to you. And they realize this, oh shit, there's still 270 days left till winter. We need food. But Hammy filled the log with nuts. And then we get an after credit scene with them using the same vending machine from the opening scene, and all the food gets jammed. They can't even push the damn thing open. But yeah, that's basically what happens in this film, and why it's basically GTA with animals and food, which animals really planning on how to steal food from people and all that. Like, okay, see, not sure if you can see this photo here. That's where the cream is, with how Hammy has that foam stuff around his mouth, and then that was when they opened Glass's fridge to get everything. Yeah. That's basically that film. Really good movie. Not as good as Kung Fu Panda, though, but maybe I'll tackle Kung Fu Panda later. But yeah, that's it. So, do you guys like this movie or not? And do you think it's really like it's basically kind of like a GTA animal thing with food and make it kid friendly? Because obviously animals don't have access to all the stuff that humans have. But yeah, that's basically it for this film, on how it's GTA with animals. And even though it does have some crazy moments, but yeah, there were also, even though it was sort of kind of funny with Vern being tossed around after he got through the hedge at the beginning of the film, sort of like a similarity to Rango, but yeah, that's basically all I have for this movie. Please like, sub, and peace.